Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome once again to Jacob's Ladder. Another live show coming to you on Labor Day. Labor Day. For those of you in the States, I hope that you are having an excellent Labor Day to begin with. Hope I'm not interrupting the BBQs or whatever you're having, but I'm glad you're here. Because there's a lot of interesting things and a lot of stress going on in the world. A lot of stressful situations that have come upon us. We're going to be talking about some weird things. Very weird. Take a look at that thumbnail. Let me know if the audio is good as I lower the volume on my music a little bit. We got a lot of stuff to get into today. It's Labor Day weekend. Happy Labor Day to begin with. Believe it or not, this has something to do with the rest of the show. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Butterfly, who says The Calling is a work of art. I appreciate it. That's my novel, for those of you that don't know. Sounds good. Elaine gave me an all good. I appreciate that. Great. Thank you, Mir. Thank you, everybody. Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. What is Labor Day? Okay, well, let's just get that out of the way first, right? It happens on the, I think it's like the first Monday of every September. Today it is the 5th. Paying tribute to all of our workers, the American workers. Because back in the day, people were not treated so great. Of course, this is the story we're told about what Labor Day is and history, Who knows who's in charge of what and what really means. There's some speculation that Labor Day had something to do with elevating a certain party, but I'm not into all that. I'm into what labor means, spiritually speaking. It's about giving birth. It's about birthing something. And sadly, to give this birth, spiritually speaking, there's going to be a lot of pain to it. So the scriptures say. I'm wearing white today. I know that after Labor Day, you're not supposed to, so I figured, what the heck? It's Labor Day. I'll tell you why. A lot of people say that the reason you're not supposed to wear it, according to Marie Claire, it's an unspoken rule, because it was created by those elites, the ones who have all the money. They were hoping to elevate themselves above people that just became recently rich. Those with enough capital to travel during the winter and fall wore white as vacation attire, meant to signal an air of leisure. Oh, we're so great. But those who stayed in the city centers, they remained in dark clothes for the seasons after summer. So if you wore white afterwards, I guess you're part of the club, right? Maybe that's why they have all those white parties in the Hamptons. Hamptons are out there in Long Island. Every year I say I'm going out. Every year I don't go out. I used to work out there, believe it or not, back in the day. But what is labor? Because this is going to lead us into a lot of stuff that's going on politically, a lot of stuff that's going on astronomically with the Artemis launch and SpaceX. And we're on the precipice of something, I feel. I get a lot of emails from a lot of people warning a lot of things. And let's discuss some of it. It's a noun to work especially hard, right? But really, it's the process of childbirth. That's once again, every time Labor Day comes, I think about this. And since I was in retail for so long, every day it was like I had to work from like 8 to like 10. It was a ridiculously long day for somebody that should be, given that day off. But, corporate America, they take all these holidays that are meant to honor the working class, and they use them as a way to get more people to consume. But today I'm here with you. Don't have to do the things that I don't want to do anymore. Thank God I'm doing the things that I feel like I'm led to do. And labor pangs is what we're all feeling. In the end, the scriptures say that it's going to be like that. As travail comes upon a woman about to give birth, that's what it's going to be like. And it's going to be sudden. So is there some kind of a sudden thing that's coming? I've, behind the scenes, been kind of like, well, Lord, does it have to be a tough month, right? I know everything seems to be going in this direction where we have such just instability and such, unrest between people that support one party or the other. We're going to get into that. especially after the last speech that the Trumpster gave. All of these things, they're very stressful, right? But no more stressful than finding like the body of a female vampire in a tomb. I just wanted to tell everybody about this. I stumbled upon this, and then a bunch of people sent me emails about this. I think even Delana sent me this too. They found a vampire padlocked and restrained in a 17th century graveyard. And you'll notice there's a sickle over the neck. That way, if the vampire comes back to life, it will, off with the head. Believe it or not, there were like 5 other of these vampires discovered earlier. Okay? Now, what makes this vampire interesting is that it had some kind of a cool little high society type of a silk cap that was found on her skull, which would lend to the idea that maybe back in the day, she was one of the members of the elite. Now, I know that a lot of these celebrities are into all that weird blood stuff, whether it's drinking blood or whether it's wearing blood face masks or whatever it is. It's eerie, it's spooky, it's weird. Done a lot of shows on vampires. Actually I had a pretty funny one. If you want to check it out, go back and you'll see. And it has to do with the family. I've been very, very fascinated lately with what's going on with this Artemis mission because, for the last couple of years, I've talked about Artemis. I felt like that was a big thing. An Artemis temple, it was turned into a mosque. They have the pillars of Artemis. And for a while I kept saying, why? I can't get away from Artemis. What's going on with Artemis? Why is this such a big deal? Then I confronted a deer that had like a lame hind leg on the side of the road a couple of years back, which then led me down a bigger path. So then when the Artemis mission came out and we heard about it, I started to think to myself, well, maybe there is something more to this. Maybe there is. Like, why all of a sudden we going back to the moon, right? Why are we trying to put people on the moon? It's about the evolution of humanity, actually. It's about pushing mankind into their new direction. But you'll know, because I talked about this on the show, where I kind of felt like maybe the takeoff wouldn't take off. Behind the scenes, honestly, I was kind of hoping it wouldn't, because I was concerned that maybe there was something to this that would possibly not, spell trouble. I don't know why. I just felt that way. So I was excited when the first launch was scrubbed. That sounds terrible, I know. But then I found out that, somebody sent me the video of this right here, which has to do with, the old lightning hitting that tower. Not like that's, the Lord saying, we are going to strike down the Artemis mission. I'm not saying that at all. And if you know who Artemis is, the twin sister of Apollo. Okay? The goddess of the hunt. Oof. Later, gods that are worshipped, Diana, other thing. We probably get Wonder Woman from this. It's a possibility. But the first launch was scrubbed. There was a big leak in hydrogen, and then they changed the launch to another day, and of course that was scrubbed as well. I kind of put out a little goofy tweet where I said I was like, fancy that, I was taking a little bit of I was almost reveling in it, because I was like, well, maybe if something really terrible is coming, I don't know why I had something, well, I kind of do know why, because I got people behind the scenes feed me information that I don't know. I like to think about it. I like to talk about it and everything else. And in the end, I know that it's all going to be good. But I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for things to hit the fan yet. So I'm like, okay, Lord, if space is this thing and there's something going on out there, let's slow things down if it's possible. With God, all things are possible. But nothing can thwart God's will, and it's God's will, so you know, that all men be saved. Nothing can thwart what God has planned. But it's written that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. So the Artemis mission has now been delayed. What is going on in space? Now, what's weird about this, of course, is I had a Twitter buddy, who we're joking back and forth about this, and I'm like, oh, look at that. The Artemis mission is, I'm just saying. And then I got a response back as if that there was maybe a backup plan or something. Who knows, right? Who knows? I enjoy when people reach out to me. I do get so many interesting things sent to me. I would like people to be on the level with me, though, you know, and don't be sending me any kind of privileged information that I could get in trouble with. It's not for me. Go to like Project Veritas or something else. So Artemis didn't launch. Oh, by the way, before I do that, I want to point out Artemis, once again, the goddess of the hunt. It's the hunt on. There's a thought out there, a belief by some people, more people than I'd like to, even mention, that, maybe this harvest, the harvest of souls and everything else, maybe there's something more to it. Maybe it's maybe it's like this. Maybe it's a big hunt. The boar hunt. That's what Artemis was known for. Strange times. Strange. What's strange is years ago, they had these little statues that were uncovered. I covered it. I talked about it. And I said, there's something to this. I don't know what it is, back in the day. And then here we are with Artemis again and again and again. And they got all these weird names. They use all these weird names. So when it's scrubbed the second time, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe we're in the clear, if something is coming. We got over 1,200 people watching. Wow, on Labor Day. I appreciate that. Do me a favor, will you hit that like button? Help me out, because I can reach more people if more likes are a liking. That's the way it works out with the YouTube algorithm. You're not going to really get promoted unless the algorithm sees that people are enjoying it. So, and I hope you're enjoying it. You will enjoy what I have to say. I'm getting all of the easy stuff out of the way first before I get into the other stuff, because, you got to do things smart. So, of course, I did this show, 6 days ago, I don't know, where I talked about the mission possibly getting scrubbed. There were whispers that there may be a problem, but they were still on track. And I said, I don't know, I'm not really feeling it. If you want to go back and watch that, I did it around the 43-minute mark. Lot of interesting things. Labor Day. Labor. The labor of childbirth. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. But when we come through on the end, it's all good. It's all good in the end. It really is. I actually wrote a poem, a beautiful poem. I could probably play it. I'll probably pull it up and play it, but it's about childbirth. And it's about how the end, even though you feel like, it's the worst, feel like you're going to, die. You feel like you're going to die. You don't think you can do it. Take it away, right? Take it away. Deliver me from this pain. But in the end, you forget about all your heartache. You forget about all your trouble. You forget about everything that you've gone through, everything you've endured, everything you've suffered. Forget about all that pain. All the mess. And then you have this possibility, this beautiful possibility, a new life in your hands and in your arms, holding it close to your breast. That's what I'm talking about spiritually, people. Happy Labor Day. So when the things get tough in the world, when they start to get a little spooky, I want you to remember where you put your faith. Once again, I'm not saying anything's terrible is going to happen. Just want you to remember what I said. You got to pray. You got to pray. You got to pray. So Artemis was delayed once again. Now they're going to do it, I guess, in October. Not looking too good. They had a lot of people that were excited to watch this thing, and none of them got to see it. But another was underway. it looks like, even though different types of launches, but who knows? SpaceX launched another 51 Starlink satellites. I can thank my buddy on Twitter for sending me all this information. I think it was like this morning. So I got up and I started inputting this because what's attached to this flight is interesting. It's like a ride share. So they're launching to put out yet more satellites, more of the Starlink. So many of them. This one, the launch, I think it was called 420, which I thought was pretty funny. Ironic, because I was about to text something about 420 the other day, for those of you that went to college. Anyway, it's a weird thing that they have on this flight. So they launched another Falcon 9 on Sunday. Okay, so that was just yesterday. So I guess some people that missed the big Artemis launch, they got to see this, perhaps. Well, it was carrying 51 Starlink satellites as well as a ride share of, and I may be pronouncing this wrong, forgive me for my Hindu viewers, Varuna, or Verona, my Verona, to low Earth orbit, Leo, the lion. This was the 40th launch they've had. And they're basically launching, I think Musk put out they're going to be launching like every 5 days, but they're launching a lot. What's going on? Why so frequent? Why so frequent? Do you know that that name is the name of a Hindu god? I'm going to get into it. One of the biggest, one of the greatest, one of the oldest, supposedly. But it was Verona. TDM is short for Varuna Technology Demonstration Mission. Boeing is sending up this thing, which is fueled and powered by this Sherpa orbital transfer vehicle, which uses chemicals to move it around. This is intended for V-band communication. Now, do me a favor, if you're a tech person and you're in the chat, let me know. Let me know if you know what V-band is. I don't know what it is. For all I know, all of this, maybe it's not even real. Maybe space isn't real. Some people say that. Maybe none of this is real. Maybe it's all distraction. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just interested by the name. Thanks to my buddy who pointed this out to me, because it opened the door to a lot of interesting things. So Boeing's setting this up back in 2017. They kind of put the works in to get it going. And I think this is going to be working with 5G. It's really just another way to send signals and communication. So what is it? What is Verona? Well, built for Boeing in order to carry out technology demonstrations. It's like, can it demonstrate to everybody what it can do? So this is like a test, okay? It's going to see if we can elevate the V-band communication system that Boeing's saying it could. Of course, creating a constellation of 147 satellites around the world. It's going to be like, it's so funny, we can't see anything, but there's so many out there right now. So is this going to be something that, we'll all benefit from? Or is there something more, I don't know, spooky about it? Because, did you know? I didn't know any about this stuff. I didn't know about all this stuff. You have to dig for these things, and not a lot of people are diggers. And there's so much information to dig through, to look through. That's why it's a good thing when these breadcrumbs come to you, you start to look, you start to dig a little deeper, because if you don't work, you're not going to get the payoff, right? And so they're sending all this stuff up there. We know that there's a lot of kooky things that have been happening. We had, the Sunspot Observatory, remember a while ago, got shut down. They had the Black Hawk helicopters and everything else, and they said, it was because somebody was looking at porn or something. It was very weird. All of these things. We had a Muamua, the visitor from afar. Now they're saying that we have craft from aliens. They're saying, they're acknowledging it's not man-made. What's happening? 2020 I said 2020, the finale begins. I said this is when all the stuff would be. I did a video and I said, they're going to release the information. They're going to say they're real. They're going to say they're real. And they did, which is quite fitting, because if there is other stuff going on, what do you want to call them? Fallen angels, demons, or whatever else. At some point, there's going to need to be some disclosure, right? So when they show up, they're like, oh, that's right. We saw an article, right? We saw a million movies. Something. Or is this stuff that's being shot up there, is it to do something a little more nefarious? Some people are worried about mind control, turning human beings into zombies, getting them to do all sorts of horrific things. Recently, we've heard stories of people. One guy I saw. Oh my God, this guy, he put down just a bunch of people, and he released this video where he was saying he's in his right mind, and you're going, what is happening? And he's saying everybody's being mind controlled, and that's why he's doing this, to stop it. People are losing, they seem to be losing their marbles. Or are they? Is there more to it? We know that there are programs that have been declassified that say that this is a thing. You can brainwash somebody into thinking certain things. I know even the power of this platform, and the power that I could have over all of you to mislead you if I wanted to. And I don't want to do that. I want to lead everybody to go to God. I want people to come together, to be truthful, to be kind-hearted. I want to see the world change. But the more that I dig and the more that I try to get these shows together for all of you, the more I feel a sense that there's just a big despair in the world. There's something big going on right now in China I'm going to talk about very shortly. It's called Bailan. Woof, weird stuff. All of this stuff. Just one thing after another. So on this craft is Varuna, which just happens to be the Vedic god associated with the sky, one of the oldest, and then later associated the god of the ocean. Like Neptune would be, right? Riding his sea beast. Some say is a crocodile. Some could say is a kraken, but it is what it is. This is the name for that technology. Why? Why? Can someone tell me why? Why they're into all this weird stuff? And you know what else? Varuna's known to be able to oversee the world with his 1,000 eyes. Talk about prison planet. That was one of the things that I had said when the Starlink started going up. I said, Tony Stark's at it again, right? He's putting the stuff all over the place. He's going to be able to see us, going to be able to offer great broadband, I guess. Is that what it's called? Where you can log on anywhere. So there was a news article today about somebody who bought like a dish and went sailing with it and said the service was great in areas that you would have no service. So there is really there is a demand for this. Not to mention it could be life-saving, as Elon Musk said in his speech with T-Mobile, because they teamed up. T-Mobile. Logos and symbols are something else. You got to look into that T-Mobile logo. You got to look into all of these logos. Very weird. SpaceX, right? Interesting. Of course, those two eclipses over the United States. That's what I think of. But 1,000 eyes. Are these satellites, are they there to spy on us? Or are they there to protect us? Or are they there to launch something? We don't know. But this god in Hinduism, which is strange because, of course, I just talked about Kali, right? Just weird, the direction that things are shifting. Just very weird. Very weird. Very weird and very cool at the same time. So this god was associated with the moral law. So basically, if you sinned, he was there to punish you. He came to punish you. But if you repented, he was forgiving. He had a rope in his hand, which he would, choke you out with, I guess. But he forgives, as he is said to forgive those who repent from their sins and pray. I mean, the only God that I worship, is the God of Jacob, the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jesus Christ. This is the God that I was familiar with growing up. The God that I then left religion because their depiction of God was very different from the one that I had learned from in the scriptures. Monstrous God. But that's the world, right? That's the evil in the world. I found God to be very different, but also one that corrects. And correction, I believe, is definitely coming. And why wouldn't it? So there's something going on. There's something going on with this. I don't know. I don't know if you're aware with the state of the youth today. I have 3 children in college, 21, 20, and Shiloh's about to be turn 19 on September 11th, which I hope and pray is an okay day. 21-year anniversary. It's so much friction and so much tension around September right now. So much of it. But a lot of these young teens are, they're not too happy. They're really stressing out. Very, very unhappy. Thank you, Genius by Birth. I appreciate you're always such a blessing. I really do appreciate the support. That's, and more than one, too. I love that. We almost have 2,000 people watching on Labor Day. I guess I'm not the only one that's not doing a barbecue. The Dan's out right now. She's getting last minute stuff for her classroom. Tomorrow is the first day of school. She's going to redo her outward display because she thinks the one that I did was just a little bit bland. She wants to add a little more to it. I like less is more, but that's okay. That's all right. So she's out right now getting some things laminated. So I figured I'd get this show right in. I don't know if you've heard about this. This is a trend right now that's going on in China. It's called Bailan. And what it means basically is let it rot. Okay. So the idea is, and it's really, I see it happening quite a bit. I see it happening quite a bit, especially when I go to the mall. Like I went to the mall to pick up I'm still a guy that goes to the store. I'm still not, I know there are not going to be many stores around in the future. Probably malls are going away, but I still go to the mall and everybody's just, they rolled out of bed. Like everybody rolls out of bed. Nobody shaves anymore. Everybody's wearing like slippers. They're like, we don't care. That's it. We'd rather be comfy than care. Back in the day, 20s and 30s or whatever, you go out, you dress up. People used to dress up. You could see footage of people walking in town. They'd be wearing like their Sunday best. Now, everything's pajama pants, baggy clothes. Hey, you know what? I like comfy clothes too. The only time I wear things that are tight is when I come on here. I'm wearing white too because I thought that was appropriate. And I know it's appropriate because we need to buckle up. We need to buckle up. But the rise of, so this is basically, everybody's so frustrated in the country right now because there's no opportunity. They're like, what's the point? Why do we even bother? They're like, just get up in the morning, get up at like 12, they were saying, eat some food, go online, stare at your computer for a while, play some games, stream some videos on TikTok or whatever they watch, the kids these days. Hopefully my channel. Maybe they'll get up and take a shower and shave and get out and do something productive. There's nothing better than getting out of the house and doing something productive, really is. You feel good, like even doing a little bit of yard work. Yeah, if you're feeling down, you're feeling sluggish, you don't want to do anything, take a shower, get dressed, shave if you're a guy, or if you're a lady, I don't know. You don't want to shave your legs, whatever. Get out, make yourself feel better. You feel a little better. You will, I promise. I promise. Get a little sunshine in your face. Go out and do something with your life. They don't want to do it, and it's a growing trend, and it's very depressing. It's very depressing, and it's stressing the government out because they have nobody who wants to do anything. They're like, well, we have no opportunities. What's the point? What's the point? Let it rot. They have a couple of expressions. Here's one right here. So here's somebody who says, unlike his parents' generation, who had much bigger expectations, there are many more uncertainties for them. You think? Think there are many more uncertainties over there in China where they got like drones coming and stay in your house. Don't leave. Stay in your house. Don't worry about the food. You think they're worried? Yeah, they're probably like, what's the point? Why are we going to be hopeful for the future when the future looks so scary? I think that one of their expressions is like, is a dying pig, it doesn't have a problem at the barbecue or something. You know, like a dead pig has no problem at the barbecue. It's kind of like, you don't worry about when the tough times come because you're just like, who cares? Who cares about anything? This is the attitude. And this isn't a good attitude to have. It's a defeatist attitude. And I feel like this world system has kind of put people into that mindset. Supposedly the government's not too thrilled about this, but you have people, and I know because the rat race is a race for rats. You know, you're running on that treadmill, hoping that you get that, that carrot at the end. You end up what? Working your whole life, never really having any joy, never having any peace or purpose, and then you end up passing away. It's the point, right? That's what they're saying. But that's not the life that I'm talking about. It's not the life that's actually available to you. So this young guy says, my boss often sets unrealistic targets for me, but however hard I try to meet them, I always fail. In the end, I lose motivation and I just do the bare minimum. And that's something that I saw when I was at the store. When I left, I was there for like 10 years. I was top guy, top salesman, right? I enjoyed helping people find rest. And I was doing this. I did that because I knew that one day YouTube would be a thing. So it was like I had to have a job. I had to be productive, had to take care of my family. So I did something that I believed in. I believe it's important for people to get a good night's sleep, to get support, to get comfort, to get rest. So I believed in it. And I saw the allegory in it. I saw purpose in what I was doing. But I can't tell you how many young adults had the same opportunities as me, were barely making any money in the same store as me. I was making good money. They were making barely any because they were doing a bare minimum. They didn't care. They wouldn't clean up. I used to clean the bathrooms by hand, scrub the toilets. I used to do everything perfect. Not like put my hand in the toilet, but I clean. I used to vacuum. I used to put lines in the rug. I was so proud of my job. So proud to have a job. So proud to contribute. But that's what they're saying. The youth today, they've been brainwashed. The education system, the world system has done everything they can to make everybody apathetic. If you make everybody lazy, just dependent on the government, trapped in the metaverse, there's no life. That's what they are. We're already sort of slaves with a little bit of freedom, but then they said you can't go to the beach because, this is going to happen. You can't go to the park. Otherwise, because, you got to you can't talk to your neighbor. Keep 6 feet between you. All of this stuff that they threw at us. We believed it because we trust that they have our best interests and we voted for you. And then you find out maybe it was all a big show. Maybe they were just really grossly incompetent. Or maybe it was to set something else up. Something else. To get everybody ready. To get everybody used to being, locked down for maybe the days to come. And I'm hoping that's not the case. But it's hard not to think that it might be the case when you see stuff like this. So you had these two rallies, one after the other. Both men using rhetoric that incites the base. You know what was trending on Twitter the other night? I couldn't believe it. I looked at trending and it said maggots. I was like, what are maggots? Like, what are they? Is that the new thing to eat? Not crickets, now it's maggots, right? And no, it's a way to diminish and demoralize the other party. M-A, but now maggots. That's it. They're now called maggots. And then, of course, you got the other side doing the same thing to them. Demoralizing, putting down, tearing down. So what's the point? You have so much civil unrest everywhere in the world. Have you seen all the footage of all the protests, of all the people like, we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to, all over. So many countries. Tammy just sent me some, before I went live, Tammy just sent me something saying, did you see this? How many? Civil unrest? Wow. Very, very stressful. So stressful. This thing is going around, how they're empty. On both sides are making a big deal out of it. You know? Empty. Right? Empty. So what does that mean? What does any of this mean? Is it all part of a bigger plan? But you know what really scared me? You know what really scared me was Naval Intelligence Officer Jack Pussyback, I guess is his name. Crowd erupts and cheers as Trump calls for that penalty for drug dealers. Now, I've talked about this before. I've talked about how scary that concept is. And of course, you know, the people are, listen, there are declassified documents that have proved that those government agencies with letters brought drugs into the. So I don't think they're going to be the ones that are put down. It's all a setup. That's what I feel like. And it's a terrible thing. Sure, it's a terrible thing. What's going on? It's a terrible thing. But it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. I'm against it, by the way. I'm against the death penalty. And I know some people have a problem with it, but I can't. Not to say that if there was some monster around me that did some horrible thing that I could control myself and not want to, avenge something. I hope that I would be better. I hope I'd be like Christ, turning the other cheek. I hope that God can move in people today to get people away from hate, away from division. Just as the days progress, it just seems like it's maybe not happening, not going to happen. So I wrote that this is something every God-loving and respecting person should be against. I warned it. Stuff like this. Then it's, the penalty for people who maybe speak out or disagree with the corporate narrative. It's not a far leap. It's not a far leap. And what about the young kids that have nothing else and then they're like brought into gangs and then they're forced out in the street to do these things and they're just selling a little, what do they call, reefer? A little reefer. Is it death for them? It's too much. We're slowly becoming Handmaid's Tale in a roundabout way. And I'm not blaming any, it's both sides. I mean, you'd have to be just totally wearing rose-colored glasses if you don't think that we are under just an absolute controlled system. I don't want to say complete dictatorship, but it certainly feels that way. When people couldn't go to work because they didn't take something that we know now, and yet they're not even discussing this. They're not even discussing this. I saw somebody put out a tweet about how everybody was freaking out when we saw Chinese people just falling over, dying, but yet we got like football players and soccer players and tennis stars that all of a sudden can't play, but nobody's freaking out about that. Nobody's freaking out because this whole thing, I feel like it's just some big. It's like witchcraft. It's like a big spell. We're under a big spell, a wizard spell. Ironically, if you know anything about Lord of the Rings, they have the new series on Prime, which everybody's panning. I started watching it last night, and I was struck that Sauron, his sigil, his sign, is a trident. It's very strange. You know what else is strange? The Pope asking everybody to pray to Pope John Paul. Pray to Pope John Paul. Yeah, everybody's talking about Pope John Paul right now. Pope John Paul, the first, not the second. The second was, my nanny loved that guy. My nanny, we had plates of this guy in our house. He turned his eye to a lot of abuse. They want to make him a saint. I think they already did, to be honest. Also, Mother Teresa, another one, who let people live in squalor. And you look into the real history and the real story of these people, that were made out to be so wonderful. Not so wonderful after all. But I wrote to the Pope. I shouldn't have to. You don't pray to people. You pray for people. Oh, good grief. Look at this. Let us ask him how to obtain for us the smile of our soul using his words. Let us ask for what he himself used to request. Lord, take me as I am with my defects, with my shortcomings, but help me with what you desire me to be. That's a nice prayer, but you should pray that to God, not to a man. And you'd think that the Pope would know this. Did anybody see this tweet? Anybody see this tweet out there? I don't know. This whole system is doomed. You know, you say that it's just the Catholic Church. You say it's just that's the system that's doomed. No. This whole system is doomed. The religious system, the political system, it's all doomed. That's why you hear that word that is great. Reset. Because the whole thing is changing. The whole thing is changing. And I think all of that stuff that's going on, I've always felt this way. I think it's something otherworldly. I don't know why, but I think it's something otherworldly. You know, we've talked about all the weird stuff, the Anunnaki display at the Vatican, you know, the ancient Sumerian nativity scene, the Pope hosting an all-faith, interfaith meeting at the ziggurat, which is like the very largest and first temple is in Sumeria. It's a lot of weird things are going on. And we got to figure this out. We really do. Because we are in what I would call these labor pains on Labor Day. And in a moment, it comes on us strong, right? Like everything can be good. I've never had a child personally. My wife has, right? I have 4 children. But I do know that labor pains, they come on and it's unexpected. And then it'll be there, and then maybe a long period in between. So you have something, then you have a long period in between. Then you have something else, then maybe a shorter period in between. Then you got something else, then a shorter period in between. And then they get closer together. Have you noticed these labor pangs have gotten a lot closer together? Are you like me and you're waiting for the next shoe to fall? Well, instead, let us focus on these things. Things that are good, things that are righteous, things that are pure, things that are uplifting, things that are beautiful. Think on these things, the scriptures tell us. When you're scared, set your eyes to the heavens. Set your eyes to the Lord, because that's where your deliverance lies. The Lord is my refuge. The Lord is my refuge. Though you see 10,000 die by your side, a hair of your head will not be hurt. That package, whatever it is, that was going up for Boeing, right? On SpaceX, whatever it is. The name of the God with 1,000 eyes that sees everything. Whatever it is. The God that punishes the wicked and forgives those that repent. It's a message for us, for us all today. There's a reason all of these things are happening. There's a reason that name was chosen. Perhaps all of these Hindu gods and all of these ancient Egyptian gods and all of these, maybe they are from other worlds. Maybe they are fallen angels or demons or whatever you want to call them, Nephilim, whatever you want to call them. But I do know that the destruction of the temple and the signs of the end times, they're upon us. So Jesus left the temple. That would be the literal temple. But I want us to look at this also spiritually. Let me just read it first literally. And was walking away with his disciples, came up to him. And he said, look at all these buildings. You see all these things? He asked. And then he said, truly I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Every one will be thrown down. It's a big reset going on, people. Everything that you see right now, it's all coming down. That's what Jesus is saying. As he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, they came to him privately. Tell us, they said, when will this happen? What will be the sign of your coming in the end of the age? Jesus said, just watch out. Watch out that no one deceives you. You know what's funny? I know scripture very well. It's like I put it up in front of me to read it, but I'm just like not reading it. I forget it's right there. I could read it. I'm trying to remember it. It's so silly. All right, let me get back to this. Jesus said, watch out that no one deceives you. Many will come in my name claiming I am the Messiah and will deceive many. Could that be the day that we're in? A lot of people are claiming that now. Is it possible that we will have someone else stand up? Someone maybe from a far place make themselves known? Maybe saying we are the ones that created you. Could that possibly be a thing? I don't know. But I do know that you should not put your faith in man. You should put your faith in God. You'll hear of wars, rumors of wars. We're hearing that now. Don't be alarmed. These things have to happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation. That word nation, by the way, means it could be race. But really, they meant race because the nations were different races. So it could just be nation against nation. You know, we don't got to get into this whole, it's a race, war that's going on. No, this is about literal turmoil, literal unrest, and people coming against people. Kingdom against kingdom. Person against person. There'll be famines and earthquakes. And all of these are the beginning of birth pains, labor. Then. So it's Labor Day. We have all that stuff. The beginning of birth pangs. We're in it. Then. That next word, then. Oh, my heart sinks with the next word, then. Then you'll be handed over to be persecuted and put to death. And you'll be hated by all the nations because of me. At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people because of the increase of wickedness. The love of most will grow cold, but the one who stands firm till the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the world, in the whole world, as a testimony. Then the end will come. The gospel of truth is being preached. It's being preached today. Then the end will come. Going to be handed over. Then the end will come. All of these things that we're going through right now, if you put your faith, you're going to be okay. If you don't got faith, you don't want to repent, and you're like, buy lawn. Let it rot. Who cares? What's the point of trying? We're not going to go anywhere. What's the point of praying? There is no God. People believe this. That's the Antichrist spirit at work in the hearts of everyone today. And it's got to go. It's got to go. And I got to go because it is Labor Day. And I heard that the Dan was knocking on the door. She was about to come in here. And then she's like, oh, he's live. She's probably so excited to show me the laminated poster. I love all of you so much. Oh, my goodness. We got so many people here. Almost 3,000 people. I appreciate it. Thank you for hitting the like. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for those that get the merchandise. Thank you for those that are going to get the book, The Calling. Amazon. I'm doing the audiobook soon. I'm going to go into the studio next week. As long as, everything's okay in the world. Hopefully there is. Everything going to be okay in the world. I think there is. I'm not I'm a little concerned. But I have faith, and I know I'm going to be okay. I know you're going to be okay if you have faith. So why don't you have faith? Thank you to my patrons. I always forget to thank you. I really appreciate you. That means a lot because I don't offer you much. You can email me. I respond back. That's really about it. Maybe in the future I'll start doing more. Maybe I'll do like a live stream or a question and answer or something on Patreon. But right now I just don't want to put anything behind a paywall. I don't want to motivate people. I want you to support me because you believe that what we're doing here, what I'm doing here, hopefully what God is doing here is important. And I appreciate all of you, even those that support me on PayPal too. You're all wonderful people. I love you all. Okay, I'm going to go. Have the best Labor Day ever for those in the States. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.